right, welcome back to the show. Today we have Mark London, who we chatted with briefly on the noisy floors of New York Comic Con this last October. But now we're in a little more private setting, less noise, and we're here to talk about the book Honor and Curse Eternal that he has coming out. So let me bring him in, and we'll find out about more about him and his book. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Hey, Chad. Good. No, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And it's great to see you now in a more intimate setting where we didn't have to just like fan out fans and crowds and everybody coughing over you. No, just kidding. I love conventions.
or you're sitting there, people are trying to get your attention, so because they want to talk to you too. But before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself, both as a comic book reader and your work in comics, because you're both a comic book writer and you run Mad Cave. So I'll let you take it from there.
Correct. Thank you, Chad. Well, I'm the CEO and CCO, which is the Chief Creative Officer of Mad Cave Studios. We started Mad Cave Studios approximately 12 years ago, so we've been doing this for quite a bit. Not as much as I'd like to. Some other guys, have been doing this longer than us, and I feel that every single day is just a learning experience. But I'm also the writer. I write some of the books that Mad Cave did. Published in its initial phase, but I think that when you're a writer, I think that when you're a creator, I don't think that passion, that fire ever goes away. So even though I'm still run things at Mad Cave and I have to do the day-to-day, I keep writing.
Yeah. Nice. And so do you remember how you got into comic books, or maybe the first comic book that you read, or what made you want to read more or get involved?
Yeah, it was actually I have a Substack, and I was remembering that one of my first experience with comic books was actually my uncle, that he took me to a flea market down in South America, Colombia, where I'm from, and they sell like bootleg cassette tapes, and they sell like all this crazy junk. And then I saw this box just full of what is this? And then I started going through it, and it was all type of comics. Some comics were in Spanish, some comics were in English. I believe that I glanced at a few Uncanny X-Men from back in the day, and I remember my uncle that he was kind enough to actually just lend me some money. That's what he said. Although he never charged me for it, but he basically just hooked me up, and it was just so mesmerized by this whole experience. But later down the road, I remember that then my first real experience with a comic book, I believe, was Silver Surfer, either 48 or 53. And that was and I was completely hooked. I was completely hooked.
Yeah. What was it about that book that hooked you and made you want to read more and get into doing it yourself?
Yeah. Well, you know what? At that time, I was learning English, so I was not very, very fluent, and I was just trying to get my bearings. But the whole aspect of just experiencing a comic book and experiencing graphic storytelling, that you could just go through the panels and understand the story, as yes, dialogue and balloons are second nature to the whole experience, but I understood everything, and I was just really, really taken by the fact that you were able to understand how everything was flowing from point A from point B, and I could understand everything that was going on. Even I was struggling with some of the words because I didn't speak the language. So we're like, okay, this is another form of communication. This is really art itself. And from that moment, I was really, really hooked into, okay, how do you work this? Why am I feeling all these emotions when you turn the page, when you go from panel to panel, I mean, when you end the issue and it's a cliffhanger. And so there is a whole method to the madness, if you might want to put it like that. But that's exactly what comic books and graphic storytelling did for me back in the day, and I think that they still do it to this day.
So let's fast forward to Honor and Curse Eternal. Why don't we start with give us a kind of the elevator pitch of it and the inspiration behind it.
Well, Honor and Curse is it's not a retelling, but it's also the continuation of one of my first books that I wrote at Mad Cave very early on, almost probably 10 years ago. And Honor and Curse was about a young shinobi in feudal Japan, struggling, fighting among the rival clan, his feudal lord, struggling with his first love, relationship with his friend, training with his mentor at the time. But the big thing here is that he kind of had like this ancient war spirit that wouldn't leave him alone. So the original series basically just like tells you the story of, okay, young shinobi, he wants to be the best, and then he has to deal on top of it with a demon that really wants to mess everything up, and he really wants to see you fail at every corner of your life. And that's exactly what happens. He loses control. He makes a big mess out of it, of the whole situation. But the thing is that when I wrote that story, I always knew that I wanted to bring Genshi Sakagura into the 21st century, because again, what's better than a ninja that is basically immortal and has a curse demon? So I was always very, very interested. And again, first experience with comic books was this big Marvel and DC crossover events. And I was like, okay, I built a few characters as soon as we came out swinging out of the gate with Mad Cave. And some of those characters were like, okay, this is the type of things that I really like. Okay, your action hero, your underdog, your detective, your guardian, your monster hunter, your assassin, in this case, a ninja that is cursed by a war spirit. So when the time was right, I was like, okay, now I can really, really rewrite this book. Not rewrite, but then relaunch this book, which is basically continues the saga of Genshi Sakagura, but in the 21st century. So it's if you would ask me, okay, this is a ninja that has spent 6 centuries running from his own power, and this series is what happens when the running stops.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk about the art team, or the rest of the creative team that's working with you on this. How have you worked with them before, or how did you get them on this project?
Never. I have never worked with this amazing team. The artist, his name is Jaime Infante. He's an art and covers, and he comes from Madrid. He has vast experience. He was even doing medical documents back in Madrid. So you can only expect that his anatomy and perspective is just going to be spot on in everything that you're going to see in this series. We have Fran Gambera, I'm sorry, which is he's in colors. And then we have Carlos Mangual, and he's doing letters. I hadn't had the pleasure of working with any of them, but Mike Martz, which is Mad Cave's Studios editor-in-chief, and I decided to continue working with him on all my books moving forward. Mike, he's fantastic. He's I think that he's a legend in the industry. He has worked with the best. He has an extensive career working at both Marvel and DC. And what I tell him, listen, you're the artist whisperer. So he brings me some. He reads the scripts. I tell him my vision. We have a lot of back and forth, and he's like, okay, let me see how I can work my magic. And then Mike comes with a few artists that he thinks are right for the project, and what can I say? He nails it every single time he brings me a different artist or a proposal, because he nails the genre, he nails the theme, the aesthetics of what we're trying to do with all these books, and also with what we're trying to do for the Underworld universe.
Oh, so let's talk a little bit more about the Underworld universe, because it's a bigger world that you're creating, correct?
Correct. The Underworld is Matt Cave's interconnected universe. But it's a long form saga that brings together characters. It brings together themes, storylines across different genres. Uh, think of it like a mosaic, Chad. Um, each is its own complete story with its own genre, tone, but they would all share a connected tissue. So
Hmm.
phase one of the Underworld, which we released last year, was Revolution 9, which is an assassin on the run. We released Hour of the Wolf, which is a monster hunter that travels through time. And he basically just have to save the day from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. If not, the world as we know it collapses. And then we have Exit City, which is it's a man-made island, um, many kilometers away from California, and it's a man-made island base, basically made by billionaires that they decided to police by algorithm. So you have two detectives thrown into the middle of everything, trying to understand, okay, what is the reality of Exit City? So that was, let's just say, Underworld's phase one. And
Hmm.
then we basically just crossed those three titles: Revolution 9, Hour of the Wolf, and Exit City. And we did a crossover called Endless Night, which is basically just pitted all these characters and just threw them in a conflict in Exit City. But it was so cool and fun. I mean, the experience for me was really fantastic. But now Underworld is entering phase two with our first title, which is going to be Honor and Curse Eternal. So you're expanding really the universe. You're bringing more characters into the mix. And again, each one has going to have a different flavor. Each one is going to be, I guarantee you, maybe your cup of coffee. And eventually, down the road, I mean, we want to do another crossover. I mean, we can definitely have fun with that and just see what happens. That's the beauty of being an independent publisher,
Hmm.
Chad. We can basically do whatever we want, right?
Well, at Comic Watch, we love Mad Caves, and you guys are great. And
Thank you.
you're putting out some great stuff.
Thank you so much. Well, I think that it's basically because we do what we love, and
Hmm.
we're not only writers or artists or colorists or letterers, but I think that at its core, everybody that has worked on a Mad Cave book, it's a at its heart, it's a diehard fan of the comic book industry. So we're just trying to have fun and just trying to give you guys uh, a run for your money.
So, uh, which do you prefer, or which, your role as, a writer, do you prefer that more, doing that stuff more than you do in your, Mad Cave position, or and is there something that you've learned from that role that you've been able to apply to your writing, or something from your writing that you've been able to apply to, your role in Mad Cave?
Absolutely. I mean, it really cuts both ways, Chad, because from a publisher standpoint, you try to actually deliver. the best books out there. I mean, okay, you have to look at the whole landscape, and that's why I think that we've been blessed enough. Mad Cave Studios has 4 imprints. We have our Mad Cave, which are our adult comics. We have Maverick, which is our young adult line. We have Paper Cuts, which is our middle grade line. And now we have Nakama Press, which is our manga imprint. So I think that from a publisher stance of things, when I have to wear that hat, I kind of just like look at everything across the board and see, okay, what are the stories that we're missing? What are the stories that need to resonate with fans? I mean, what do people like? People like to feel comfort in the stories. They like something new, but they like something familiar at the same time. So that is something that we try to identify with our 4 imprints. So, but when I have to basically switch caps and I have to be a writer and work on what I like, or the things that I was passionate about when I was growing up, I have to find a balance between what I really, really want to do and what I think as a publisher and everything that we are finding out that works. So I think that both sides of the coin make me either a better executive for the publisher, but also a better writer for the company, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. And how do you feel, that you've grown as a writer? Because I mean, you have plenty of books, under your belt as a writer. How do you feel that you've grown from when you started off writing to, to now?
Mm-hmm. I feel more confident, but I think, to be honest, that the imposter syndrome never leaves you, that you're really, really always doubting yourself. Like, okay, if you're doing your best, I really like Formula One, and they have a saying in Formula One, which is like, you're as good as your last race. So I would like to think that you're as good as your last comic. So that's why with every single comic that I try to put out the door, it has to be the best. But I don't feel that is the best. For some reason, still, I've been doing this for many, many years, and I still sometimes second guess myself. But I think that at the end of the day, that keeps me humble in a way that I don't try to get cocky by the time. Again, I try to keep on keeping my nose to the ground and really be like, okay, what's working? How do I need to push this? Why this didn't work? Why this didn't resonate with fans? What could we have gotten done better? And I think that when you are persistent and you every day try to push yourself, I think that at the end of the day, you have to become better. It's the reality is that. At least that's what my wife tells me. No, just kidding.
that chief officer, that keeps telling you to, write better, correct?
Of course, exactly. 100%, all the time. Like, okay, what is this? I mean, no, but the good thing is again, all kidding aside, is I'm very blessed to have a wonderful team at Mad Cave who helped me along immensely just to run the day by day. So that's why I'm able to spend some time creating projects, working projects, bringing projects to the table. But believe me when I tell you this, Chad, I'm always very, very humble. And I know that when I'm writing for the company, that's my job. And if they're going to shut me down, or if they're just going to say like, okay, I'm sorry, but this sucks, or really this is going off a cliff, I mean, I have to, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and let's see what works.
Do you say you know a guy in the company?
Yes, I do know a few guys in the company that actually, yes. No, but from day one, it has to be from day one. It has been like that. It was like, guys, I mean, this has to be transparent, and that's something that I really, really appreciate about my team. That nobody there it's a yes man or a yes person and be like, oh, this is great, this is amazing. I mean, you have no idea the the amount of pitches and outlines that I have laying here in a drawer that really did not make the cut.
Mm.
So,
yeah. Something to further develop then.
yeah, exactly. Hey, sometimes you know what, you have I think that you have something that might work, and you put it in a drawer, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it was ahead of its time, or maybe, I don't know, it's something that worked in the past and now it's coming back. You never know, but that's the fun part about being a creator, being somebody that really enjoys doing these things, that creating worlds, creating characters, pumping up the drama to 100. That's something that keeps me going. So I never have just a few pitches. I mean, I constantly daydream. I think that I have to talk to somebody about
that. Don't tell your boss.
I will not tell my boss. Yes, sir. No. As long as I don't start talking to myself and I don't start hearing voices, I think we're good.
So is Honor and Curse, I don't want to say a limited series or a specific number of issues?
Mm-hmm. Well,
okay.
Thank you for asking that. But Honor and Curse is an ongoing series.
Okay.
So right now, I mean, the first arc is basically going to be 12 issues. Happy to tell you that 12 issues are done. They're ready to go. So that's something that I'm going to be announcing at Comics Pro next week. So I know the retailers are going to be very, very happy with that. And then the next books that we're going to be launching with Phase 2, which I cannot talk a lot about them for obvious reasons. But there are two other books that have different genres that they're going to be, I think that you're going to really, really like them. But those are ongoing series as well. Same as Revolution 9, Hour of the Wolf, and Exit City. Both are coming back. Revolution 9 is being written by Steve Orlando. Exit City is being written by Rich Douek. And I am continuing writing Hour of the Wolf. So again,
now you're just name dropping. No, just
now I'm just bragging. Now it's just like, okay, what is showing off. No, I mean, hey, it's a big swing for an independent publisher, and but I think that as you said that, and I really appreciate for your kind words regarding Mad Cave. I think that that's what makes us a little bit different. That you have your licensed books, you have your homegrown books, you have your creator-owned books, but hey, I mean, we really enjoy what we do, and we're really having fun, and really we want to connect with the audience and give them what they really, really want to see and read in a comic book.
Now, anything more planned with like Battle Cats or?
Yes, sir. More Battle Cats will be announced soon. We're just wrapping up the final touches on the Kickstarter. Unfortunately, we did have it's gorgeous. I mean, I'm really not being biased here. I'm being super objective. The omnibus is fantastic. Chad, it reads beautiful. It's a massive, massive, massive book. With all the bells and whistles. I'm sure that the backers will not be disappointed, and later down the road when we are able to give it to retailers and sell it through all the different channels, people are going to be really, really excited about it. But with that being said, yes, sir, there will be more Battle Cats for everyone. And what we're working on really, really, I think is like, hey, again, we have to top ourselves. I know that as an indie publisher, I mean, you start humble, you try to lay out the pieces that sometimes they might be like, oh, I've seen this before. Now is time to actually step up and bring this series to the next level. So, yes, sir.
And are there any writers, either current writers or past writers that kind of influence you and make you, or inspire you to in your work?
100%. I really love Mark Millar. Is one of my absolute favorites. I mean, he's bombastic, widescreen scope at storytelling. That's something that I really like. I also really like Brian K. Vaughan. I think that his work is fantastic. I really enjoy Jeff Lemire. He has been with me for as long as I can remember. And now James Tinian, when he was doing his stuff at DC, I mean, he was always super solid. But now, I mean, that he's doing his own thing. I mean, I'm seeing this guy just like climbing, and I can't wait what he's gonna come up with next. Writers of the past that they have really done great work as writers. Grant Morrison, Warren Ellis, even Alan Moore. Well, I think that those are your old guard, kind of like your classics that a lot of people just grew up with them. And how can we forget about Neil Gaiman and Sandman, of course? Yeah. So I always keep close tabs and to that work. Their body of work, to try to analyze again, okay, why were they so successful? What were they doing? What were the tricks that they were applying back in the day? So maybe we can bring it back and learn something of the guys that made this industry. I mean, a big thing for people to talk about before Netflix ruined it for all of us. Not just kidding, but somewhat. Yeah.
And finally, are you currently reading anything that you would recommend that people check out?
Yes. I think that DC is killing it with the Absolute Universe. I think that Scott Snyder with his Absolute Batman it's great. Breath of fresh air. Jason Aaron with his with Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman. I think that those three have really took me off guard. I really thought that it was going to be like, oh, okay. But no, definitely I have been enjoying them tremendously, Chad. And sure, the DC is one of the big two, but again, hey, they produce cool work, very good body of work.
So as we as we wrap here, you want to give one more, I guess, shout out for Honor and Curse and Mad Cave and where people can find you if you're on social media.
Absolutely, and thank you for this, Chad. I think that I've been haunted by Kenshi's story since, again, I first imagined him. This guy has spent his 6 centuries, I mean, running from his own power, only to be dragged back into the light. I think that is going to be a worthy tale. I think that it's really going to be something that people are going to be surprised by it. I took a lot of inspiration from Frank Miller's Ronin. I think that it's a little bit of a John Wick meets Venom sort of thing. That duality of when you have an inside presence that wants to just take over you, and you need to control it while you have the fate of the world hanging in a balance, because really behind the curtain, they're very powerful players at play. And Honor and Curse is something that is really going to detonate everything that is going to come after, or it's going to be a prelude of everything that we're working for phase 2. So if you guys can really check it out, you don't need to read the previous stuff if you don't need to. Honor and Curse Eternal is a perfect jump on point, even from the original series or phase 1 from the Underworld. If you read all of that stuff that came before, more power to you, but you're really gonna enjoy this as a standalone. So I really hope that you guys pick it up and you guys enjoy it. And yes, shout out to everybody at Mad Cave Studios. I think that I have the best people in the industry working alongside and I'm prideful. I'm prideful to be doing this job every day. I thank God for the opportunity, and I'm gonna keep on doing it to the best of my abilities till, I don't know, I lose a leg or an arm or something. Yeah.
All right. Well, Honor and Curse Eternal #1 arrives February 26th. So that's just 2 weeks. So people should check it out and grab it at your local comic book shops when you go to grab the rest of your books, and check out the rest of the great selections from Mad Cave and their various imprints. And again, Mark, thank you for taking the time out of your day to chat, and best of luck as the series continues, even though you said it's already written. And and hopefully we will be able to touch base again at New York Comic Con this year.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to see you again. And again, like always, thank you so much for everything that you do for the industry, Chad, and for having me here. So thank you for your time, sir.
All right. Well, thank you, and have a great day.
You as well. Take care, sir.